ongoing situation between Israel and Hamas, the American hostages that continue to be held by Hamas. We're going to hear from a family of one of those Americans coming up in this hour, too. But first up is this student who has taken it upon himself and a small group of others to sue Harvard University. They say Jewish students on that campus were not protected from anti-Semitism. He's a master's student at Harvard. They're preparing to hear from him in just a moment here. This has been so much a part of the culture that we have covered, Lindsay, in this country these last few months. People who are upset that not enough is being done to bring the hostages home, to make sure that those that are still alive can see their families again. And yet the civilian casualties, the civilians caught in the middle, inside Gaza.
And of course, House Speaker Mike Johnson, who you see there standing next to Donald Trump, he went to Columbia in the midst of that campus being on lockdown. Many of the student protesters shouting expletives at him as he was calling on the National Guard to come in. Quite a contentious moment.
As we now hear from Shabbos Kestenbaum from Harvard.
My name is Shabbos Kestenbaum. I am a proud first-generation American. I am a proud Orthodox Jew. And as of 5 months ago, I am the proud plaintiff suing Harvard University for its failure to combat anti-Semitism. I came to Harvard to study religion, the foundation of Western civilization. What I found was not theology, but a contempt for it. My problem with Harvard is not its liberalism, but its illiberalism. Too often students at Harvard are taught not how to think, but what to think.
Maybe who ain't about to know.
Immersed in a culture that is anti-Western, that is anti-American, and that is anti-Semitic. After October 7th, the world finally saw what I and so many Jewish students across this country experienced almost every day. When I planted 1,200 Israeli and American flags on campus, they were all vandalized within 24 hours. I was harassed by my peers merely for being a Jew and have received countless death threats online. Students and professors have openly called for new Hamas-style attacks against the United States.
How?
And perhaps most damning, when Hamas terrorists butchered 45 American citizens on October 7th, when they took
Are you paying my electric bill?
Hostage, Harvard refused to immediately and unequivocally condemn this atrocity.
All right, then. You don't got no say here.
My fellow Americans, the anti-Semitic bigotry, unfortunately, extends far beyond the universities. Although I once voted for Bernie Sanders, I now recognize that the far left has not only abandoned the Jewish people, but the American people.
It's not me. It's mostly y'all.
The party I registered to vote for the day I turned 18, has become ideologically poisoned. And it is this poison, it is this corruption that is infecting far too many young American students.
Now you see.
Clear. The far left's anti-Semitic extremism has no virtue, and the radicalism
what did Harvard do to you?
And on our streets has no moral legitimacy.
What did the people in Harvard did to you?
Sadly, the far left-wing tide of anti-Semitism is rising.
Why you lied on Harvard then?
Tonight, we fight back. proud
What's up, Trump?
to support President Trump's policies to expel foreign students who violate our laws, harass our Jewish classmates,
What's up, Trump?
desecrate our freedoms. Let's elect a president who will instill patriotism in our school once again. Let's elect a president who will confront terrorism and its supporters once again. Let's elect
What's
a
up with you
president
and
who
Prince
recognizes
Charles?
that although Harvard and the Ivy Leagues have long abandoned the United States of America, the Jewish people never will, because Jewish values are American values, and American values are Jewish values. God bless the United States. God bless the land of Israel. God bless, protect, and return the American hostages in Gaza now.
Martha Raddatz talking about the American hostages who remain inside Gaza. We're about to hear from the Nutra family, Orna and Ronan. Their son, 22-year-old Omer Nutra, still in Gaza.
Still in Gaza, as so many other of the hostages are, including Americans. We know this has been a very, very controversial war. You and I were both there. We're seeing some sort of
Bring them home.
bring them home,
Some of them are
which there have
chanting in
been
the hall.
protests all over the country, and you and I both know, we have been in Israel numerous times, seeing those protests and how badly they want to bring them.
Our son, Omer, is an American citizen. For 285 long days and nights, Hamas terrorists have been holding Omer in prison in tunnels underneath Gaza. Omer, which is a biblical name and means in Hebrew the first crop, is our firstborn. He was born in New York City 1 month after 9/11. 8 months pregnant, I walked across the Queensboro Bridge towards home that day.
Of course they all got paid
And here we are, 23 years later,
to be up there and bashing
and he's the victim
President
of
Biden's
another
name.
vile terrorist attack.
And
Let
Vice
me tell you
President
a little bit
Harris'
about my
name.
son. He's a connector. He's an extremely social person. He loves sports. In
Who
high
are you,
school,
woman?
he was captain
Not
of the
you, ma'am.
soccer, volleyball, and basketball teams. He's a natural leader. And he cares deeply about others and about helping them grow. He turned 22 on October 14th, 2023. And instead of celebrating with us and with his friends, he spent his birthday as a hostage of Hamas terrorists. Imagine, over 9 months, not knowing whether your son is alive, waking up every morning,
Sir?
praying that he too is still waking up every morning, that he is strong and is surviving. I recite Psalm 23 in his merit every single day. גם כי אלך בגיא צל מוות, לא ארערה כי אתה עמדי. I walk through the shadow of the valley of the shadow of the death. I will fear no evil. For thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me.
You're welcome, sir.
Bring them home. 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 During the brutal October 7th attack on Israel, over 1,200 people were slaughtered. Of them, 45 were American citizens. Where is the outrage? This was not merely an attack on Israel. This was and remains an attack on Americans. Omer is one of 8 American hostages and one of 120 hostages still left in Gaza. Citizens of 24 countries and 5 different religions, still held by Hamas, denied basic human needs, their lives threatened every day. President Trump called us personally right after the attack when Omer was taken captive. We know he stands with the American hostages. We need our beautiful son back. And we need your support. We need your support to end this crisis and bring all the hostages back home. Them home. Bring them home. Bring them home. Bring them home. Bring them home.
Omer, we love you. We won't stop fighting for you.
Stay with us. Bring them home.
Bring them home.
Bring them home.
And which we will.
God bless
Just give us
Israel,
time, sir.
and God bless America.
Those 3 words echoing in this convention hall in Milwaukee, bring them home. The family of Omer Nutra, Orna and Ronan, the parents. He was a member of the IDF and a tank commander, Gaza border, when he was taken by Hamas on October 7th. Mary Bruce, our chief White House correspondent, this has been a key issue for President Biden as well. He's aware of these American hostages. There's been a lot of criticism for Benjamin Netanyahu inside Israel for singularly focusing on the military intervention inside Gaza, and many in Israel and here in the US believe not enough to get those hostages out.
Yeah, and President Biden has faced a lot of criticism for not being, more forceful with Israel as well. We hear those protesters often at his rallies. But when it comes to this ceasefire, we continue to see the White House say that they are optimistic. They've seen signs of progress, but it has been several weeks since the president went public, shockingly went public with what was on the table, with the latest offer on the negotiating table. They say they're getting closer, but David, we still seem to be quite far away from any kind of ceasefire deal that is going to ultimately bring them.
Something obviously this president would like to accomplish heading into this fall, leading up to the November election. The bigger question we're looking at with President Biden tonight is whether or not he's going to be at the top of the ticket this fall. I should let everyone know at home watching our ABC News Live coverage of the Republican convention that you're about to hear over the course of the next hour from Don Jr. And his daughter Kai, Donald Trump's granddaughter. She wasn't going to speak until what happened Saturday in this country, so she'll speak. J.D. Vance, the running mate, will speak for the first time to the nation. He'll introduce himself. He'll be introduced by his wife here tonight, Trump? So there's a lot to look forward to for you to take in at home. But before we get there, Donna Brazil, the big question, and you've seen the headlines just today, Adam Schiff, a leading voice of the House, saying that President Biden has been a consequential president in our lifetime, but it's time to pass
no
the torch.
cocaine, Trump. Quit your line.
I think the president has already passed the baton. If you look around the country today, we have Democratic governors in states that we've never.
And I guess you're on fucking cocaine then.
Right now, David, is simple. Is Joe Biden ready for another 4 years? And if Joe Biden decides that he wants to continue to stand and work on behalf of the American people during the next 4 years, that's his choice, his decision. He has the delegates. We know that the polls will shift one day from the next day. But tonight I'm wishing the president a speedy recovery, get back on the campaign trail, and if he's ready to keep going, we need him to keep going.
What do you make, Donna? Of course, we all wish for a speedy recovery, no matter where you are, hopefully in this country, in terms of politics, that now that we know he has COVID, let's hope that he gets better and quickly. But you're on the Rules Committee for the DNC, correct me if I'm wrong, and I know that this virtual roll call that was set to begin as early as next week has now been delayed. Is that to give Democrats and the president more time to decide here?
Well, I'm on the Credentials Committee for the Convention, the Rules Committee for the DNC. I know I wear many hats, David, but let me just tell you this. We decided that we will put it off to give the members of Congress and others more time to collect their thoughts. But we have to get Joe Biden on the ballot in all 50 states in the District of Columbia. That's our goal.
All right, we've got your title straight. We've got a number of them, Donna, and we're glad you're here with us. Our coverage is going to continue 10 p.m. Eastern on the network, so stay tuned here, and we'll see you on ABC News, the network, 10 p.m. Eastern, just moments from now. J.D. Vance in front of the country. In a moment, our live coverage continues. Stay tuned.
The 2024 elections are here, and the United States is facing a series of critical issues.
The battle